Alright. Alright. Wait, let me close this door. I have to pull up my own camera. I have to pull my own stream up on my thing because I have no idea what's going on, dude. Okay. Let me just crawl in here. This is such a hard thing to get into, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of screwed myself over a little bit. Yeah. I love painting streams. Yeah, well, I love setting this up and then crying about it. Hi, guys. My back hurts. Okay, wait, it's not loading on my phone and I need it to because I'm kind of trying to see if my camera's angled correctly. Because basically what I have right now is it's set up in a completely separate room to me. All of this. I'm in a different room than my computer is. And, yeah. So, hi, how we doing, folks? Let me know if certain things are like too loud or too quiet, because like I said, it's very hard for me to adjust things while I'm in here versus at my computer. But hi, let me make a quick tweet. So I can be like, OMG, you guys should join my painting stream because I set it up and I spent a really long time setting it up. You know? That's my exact excuse. Join my painting stream because, oh my god, the raid, and I can't see who it's from because I'm literally not at my computer right now. So whoever just raided, I really appreciate you. I literally just, my computer's like literally in the other room over there. Just give me a second, I literally just started. Oh my god, but thank you so much. Because I spent so long setting it up. Oh gosh. I know that this camera is not the best, and I do apologize for that. I don't have too expensive cameras, and yeah. Gem's raid, oh, thank you so much, Gem, for the raid. You're a bit quiet. I could try and turn this up. There we go. Okay, I don't know how loud this is gonna get. But thank you so much, Gem, for the raid. I really appreciate you. Okay. Okay. Hi guys. Hello. I'm Snifferish. I do have to go over something really quickly, but while I do that, while I go over what I'm going over, I would like to start mixing our paint. Now, I did not set up my palette beforehand, but today we are going to be working on this, if it's not obvious. Actually, we're just gonna paint the table. No, but we're gonna be working on this, so I do need to set up my palette first, which is this little guy. Look at how tiny it is. It's just a little guy.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, wait. I feel like I gotta keep the chat on my phone so that I can see. Thank you so much, Renee, for the tier 1 surprise stream. I'm so sorry, Charlie or Shrew. I should have told you. Look. I did not expect to have to stream today, but I accidentally did an oopsie whoopsie. I accidentally started streaming for a completely different thing on Tuesday when I was supposed to stream today. So that's actually what we're talking about right now while I set up this palette. And I am going to be reaching across to grab my paint, so I'm sorry if that gets a little bit annoying, but alas, I keep my paint over in front of me right here. So today's stream is sponsored by Truth, which is a, I don't want to say they're like anti-vape. Their whole point is that they're supposed to help people who are addicted to nicotine via vape products. And I talked a little bit about this on my last stream, you know, accidentally. But their whole mission is to kind of help people who have become addicted because vaping is not that good for you. I mean, as we all know, nicotine can increase your stress levels. It can worsen your anxiety and depression. Now, I have never vaped, but I have gotten addicted to caffeine, which is another type of stimulant substance before. And it is not the best. It's really not the best. It doesn't do good for my anxiety, and I have been trying to reduce the amount that I take every day. But yeah, so the whole thing that they wanted me to do is they wanted me to talk about some things that help me reduce my stress, which one of them for me is painting. So I thought it would be funny if I did like a little painting stream where I'm sitting here and I'm painting and I'm doing something non-stressful, you know, because this is what helps me, like, not be stressed. So, yeah. And if you are addicted to nicotine because of vape products, just know that you aren't alone. And if you do Exercise in Truth, they have more information on their website on how they can help you quit. So yeah, super thank you to Truth for sponsoring this video. Or stream. It could be a video if I wanted it to. I just started the tweet and decided to join in. Thank you. That means so much to me because I spent so long setting this up. Okay, so for those who are wondering what this little palette is, this is a, now I don't know how to describe it. Here, I'll show you the thing. It is a maintenance sta wet. I don't know why they couldn't just say stay wet, but a stay wet handy palette. And basically how it works, I describe this on every stream, but everyone always asks me, so I'm going to describe it again, it is a palette that has a little sponge underneath, and the sponge helps keep the paints nice and wet when they, like, because I use acrylic paints, and acrylic paints are water-based paints, so they do dry up pretty quickly. It's a wee version of the big boy palette. Yes, it is. It is a wee version. I actually bought this one first, and I used to use this for large paintings, believe it or not. And then I found the big boy palette, and I was like, oh, why am I not using this? And for those who are asking, I am using Liquitex Heavy Body Acrylic. It is my personal favorite acrylic. I don't know why. I just think that it's like, this plus some slow drying medium really reminds me of oils, but less smelly. People ask me all the time why I don't use oils, and it's because I can't really handle the smell, so I can only paint with oils in like super well ventilated areas, so like outside. Yeah. Alright, so now that we have our paint laid out, we have 6 colors here. I'm keeping it pretty small because this is not the biggest of paintings. Yeah. Are you cool with me editing? Yes, of course, Shrew, go ahead. Okay, now I'm gonna reach all the way up here. Hopefully not knock everything over. Now this is a slow drying medium with an unfortunate name. So we are going to pour this into, not pour, I guess it's more like schlop it. Actually, that's worse. I take that back. So I just kind of put a little bit in each. Also, if you guys like the jazz, I can change it. I just have to get up and go to the other room to do that. So it's a little bit of a... So now we have this slow drying medium. And then I need a palette knife, which would be in here. So I very recently moved my art space. If that's why you guys are like, Sniff, where are we right now? And why are you keep talking about being in a different room? Oh, I didn't realize this had paint on it. Well, oh well. She's just gonna be a little bit... Look. That's so unfortunate. I don't even know how this had paint on it. Well, it's not destroying all of the white. It's okay. But yeah, so I recently moved into a new art space, and by that I mean this room before was a room that I just kind of used as storage, and then also had, this room's very small, so it also had an extra bed for when my friends come over, and you know, I do have friends who are over 21, so if I have friends that consume substances, I do not want them to drive home, because you should never drink and drive, you should never smoke and drive, you know, all that jazz. And so that's kind of what this room was originally, but I was just kind of feeling like I was never using it, and I'm very fortunate to have the space that I have, and so I was kind of like, I really want to, okay, just ignore the fact that the paint got up in that yellow. I'm just warming the yellow a little bit. It's fine. I don't really need a super vibrant yellow, so this is fine. I'm just mixing in the slow drying medium. Okay. Do I have any paper towels? Yo, thank you so much, Atlas, for the 11 months. I appreciate it. Alright, let me just grab this. So, yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. I don't know if, like, I'm hoping that this becomes an easier space for me to do painting streams, but we'll figure it out. I definitely, like, I went through this whole entire setup process today. It was so much work, and it definitely gave me this whole thing of, like, okay, here's a list of things that I would like to get now that I think would make this easier. Yeah. I just realized what this song is. Look, this is my partner's jazz playlist, and I always forget. Like, I listen to it for the Frank Sinatra, and then I forget that they have this on there. Also, let me know if the music is a little bit too loud, please. Alright, wiping my palette knife. Kind of looks a little bloody. Jazz goes so hard, I love it. Eventually, I would like to have more controls over here, but I have to do a lot of more setup for that to make it all work. Yeah. It's a little loud sometimes. Okay. Well then, how about before painting, I go over and I just make it a little bit quiet. But also, it might just be that song, so we'll see. Yeah, because now this sounds so quiet, you know? Okay, we're almost done mixing and then we can start painting. One thing about this painting that's kind of a big oopsie is I don't know where the reference photo went. So I lost the reference photo. It's probably somewhere in my iPad, to be honest. But yeah, so my reference photos, I normally just like Photoshop a bunch of other photos together until I get an idea of what I want. But I don't have that, so we're just gonna kind of, you know, freelance this? Freelance? Free work? I don't know. Hopefully the paints, they're probably gonna like slowly move because they're at an angle. I love your hat, Sniff. Thank you, I made it. Okay. I'm gonna go turn down the music just a smidgy. And I need to fill up my water, which is just this old thing of salsa. So, I'll be right back. If you guys hear water running in the background, I promise I'm not taking a fat piss. See, I actually have a reason to be a jar hoarder because I paint so much. Well, I don't paint that much. I should paint more. I really should, in my opinion. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to sit very oddly in my chair because I don't know how else to function. And I might have to adjust my camera a little bit because, yeah, that's... All right, shall we chat? Shall we actually get to painting? Wouldn't that be so sick? All right. I just like jars in general. That is very fair. All right, I'm just gonna move this. Is that like good? Can you guys see that pretty well? Yeah. This is so pretty. Thank you. This was what I actually started about a year ago. Oh, also, you guys get some ASMR, sort of, because I bought some new paintbrushes, finally. I don't buy paintbrushes very often, because I get gifted them quite a bit, and then I normally buy very cheap. Oh, these feel so cool. What? Sorry, I normally buy very cheap brushes, but they were on sale, and I was like, maybe I should finally get myself some new brushes, you know? So look at how gorgeous these are. They've got like a little like metallic sort of thing going on. But I needed some small brushes because, as you guys can tell, this is a very small piece in comparison to what I normally do. So yeah, put it to the mic. You want me to? You want to touch it? You want me to brush the mic? You want me to just? Oh, I never understand you guys, but it's okay, because actually, I'm just kidding, I do get you guys completely and wholly, more so than anyone else. Okay, I have no idea where to start. Chat, where do you think we should start? We could start with some more Apple stuff. So I know that these are supposed to be peonies. So, yeah, with both ends of the brush. Okay, I'm gonna get this a little wet. Hey Sniff, how would your dad feel about your paintings? They look magnificent. My dad actually loves my art, and so does my granddad. I would actually say that my dad's probably one of my biggest fans when it comes to my art. Like, he's always been the most supportive in that, like, he buys me art supplies and stuff like that. I mean, so is my mom, honestly, but I feel like my dad has always wanted me to be an artist and has always been okay with me pursuing artistic stuff. Now, I can zoom in. We'll see how that, like, kind of translates. If you guys look on Twitter, you can see that, oh, that was, like, very zoomed in. I don't know. Here, I'll move it up a little bit. But yeah, if you guys saw on Twitter, I spent a very long time, you know, working on setting this up correctly. So it was going to be a lot of adjusting to make sure that you guys can see exactly what I'm working on. Yeah. That's so heartwarming. Thank you. I started to think that your dad watches a lot of Bob Ross. He does, to be fair. I mean, my dad and I always joke about Bob Ross, so I think it's a very topical thing because it's Father's Day. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit, I want these peonies to be a little bit more pink, but like on the rosier side. So I am going to introduce some of these down here. Now I'm doing some pretty rough painting right now, just because, as you can see, a lot of the canvas isn't completely covered. Yeah. That's so cool that you'll have, like, a common interest. Well, you see, my dad and I actually have a surprising amount of common interests, because my dad, like, has ADHD, and even though I was very much so late in my diagnosis, you know, it was always pretty obvious that I had ADHD. At least I feel like it was. I can't tell, is this, I gotta zoom out more. But yeah, so like he would just rant to me about his special interests, and then I like asking people questions. A cat has entered the room. Wait, you guys, your cat or my cat? I was like, my door's closed. What are you talking about? My cat was in here earlier being an absolute menace. Because she just does that. Oh my god, actually, I think I can, like, tell you guys this now. But the reasoning that I wanted to, another reasoning for this room is because I've been taking on a little bit more projects, like artistic projects, because I recently acquired my old dollhouse from my father's, and I'm going to fix it up because my very special announcement is that I'm going to be an aunt. My sister is pregnant. She has been for a bit. Obviously, it was like, I didn't want to talk about it until she gave me permission to talk about it, so, but I'm very, very excited. Not that, like, this needs to be shared with, like, Twitch chat, to be honest, but, like, I'm not a person that personally would want kids, but I'm very excited that my sister is having kids, because the idea of being a cool little aunt makes me very happy. And I don't know, I fit the crazy aunt stereotype in my opinion. So, oh my god, you're gonna be an uncle? Yes, I'm also gonna be an uncle. There's no, like, gender neutral word for aunt or uncle, which is so frustrating. But it's okay, I'll just be both. I have two cats, one is fluffy, one is sassy. I have two cats as well. I have one named Satsuki and one named Mayo, but his name's Maya, but we call him Mayo or Mayonnaise because he's just so silly and he needed a silly nickname to match his vibe. Okay, this is definitely a more vibrant pink and I'm liking how that looks. Now I'm gonna start adding in some green and some darker colors right around here, right where my camera is covering, I realize, but I feel like you would work really well with kids. Well, that's funny because the only, like, I'm gonna say this and it's gonna sound weird, the only real job I've had, in quotations, I personally 100% understand that Twitch streaming is a job. I view it as a job. But I mean, like, job where I wasn't technically self-employed and or contracted, I was a art camp counselor. I know you're probably wondering, how is that different from a normal camp counselor? It's not really. It's just that we like did mostly artistic activities. And there was a lot of like special kids, special ed kids. I don't really know what the proper term is for it nowadays. And it was funny because like I felt like I could talk to them very easily because little did I know they just like me for real. So I realize I'm working exactly where my camera is. Oh, this is so frustrating. I'll zoom out a little bit more if possible. No, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know. So it was like, I had a really fun time. I really loved all of the kids that I worked with who came in every summer. They were all super kind, and it was very obvious to me that like a lot of them had never really been in a program like that before, where like it was more catered to their special interest of like art as opposed to just like an everyday summer camp. And a lot of kids like by the end of it like came out like very social and very happy. And yeah, I really liked that job. Like I'm definitely, like I said, I'm not a person that could ever like see myself having kids, but I love working with kids. I think that it is, this is gonna sound weird, but I feel like we don't give kids enough attention, you know? And I don't mean like, I don't know, I feel like there's right and there's wrong attention, and I feel like nowadays it's all the wrong attention. So if this looks awesome, thank you. I'm working at summer camp this year. Oh. Also, to be fair, I would say that some of you guys in chat are still kids. Don't say your name or your age, because that's not against Twitch's, that's against Twitch's TOS, but, you know, so I guess there are some ways that I like kind of work with kids. I mean, my audience is very young. I don't know if I'm considered family friendly or not, but I feel like I am partially. I'm enough so, you know? Kiddo, exactly. You guys are a little bit, yeah. But like, I'm also a kid sometimes, so like I get it. I very much so am unfortunately hindered from the pandemic. Like, I am 20, but there are times where I still very much so feel a bit like, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but I feel very like frozen. You know, like I feel like I'm frozen in like whatever, like the 17-year-old me sometimes that like started the pandemic. And I know like some people are like, oh, it's mostly over, but I don't really feel like it is. And also like, you know, the coronavirus is still very much so affecting many countries. So it's like, yeah, I get that. Oh, your hair's so cute. Thank you. You say the F word once per stream? I do. I know I do. I also say, shit. And, yeah. But other than that, I'd say I'm pretty family friendly. And it does also depend on who I'm hanging out with. That is a clarification I feel I must make. Yeah. I used to be more family friendly. I'm trying to go back to that. It's very hard though once words get stuck in my head. So, you know, to do a little bit, come back to the painting for a second here. The paint is very thin right now, but I'm kind of okay with that. I'm focused more so on adding value right now as opposed to details, which is why you see me kind of making these very vague strokes. These peonies are in the foreground. Oh my god, fancy art language. So they're gonna be the most detailed. So I'm just like kind of trying to like make sure that I also have my values correct. Because even though it's not the focal point, I do feel like it plays a pretty important role in framing this drawing. Because as you can tell, it's more so heavy in value on this side. Does the VOD of this stream save asking for a friend? Yes, it does. And Lawns, and it saves without the copyright music. So any music you hear right now that could potentially have copyright will not get saved in the VOD. Woo! I know. Classy, classy, amazing, amazing, amazing. You'd be the second person I'd have to deliver a VOD to, because I believe that Techno Dad is going to take our stream from the other day and have someone edit it down, which I'm very excited for. Although I don't think it was a very funny stream. I think it was more of a strangely philosophical, you guys know what I mean. It was insightful and thinky and so my mom complimented your painting saying it was beautiful. Oh my gosh, well, I bet that your mom is beautiful. And I mean that sincerely. That sounded like a your mom joke, but I mean it like genuinely. Such a random topic, and I'm not calling your mom old, but I do feel like, I know it's Father's Day and I probably should be appreciating the dads, but whatever. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like, and when I say older women, I mostly mean women who are like over 35, who society considers like middle age, but like, they don't get enough appreciation and love, you know? Like, and this is nothing against, like, I have a few like older friends, and they're like, you know, oh, I don't want to age, like, I feel like I look like this when I age and blah blah blah, and I'm like, I feel like aging should be celebrated. I know that there's like, it mostly has to do with some like weird stuff, but like, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, nah, I feel like we gotta start, I hope Gen Z can be like the generation where like, we start to age and we're like, yes, epic. Like, guys, look at my new wrinkles. Like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna be like that. I think it's gonna freak everyone out, or it's gonna be like absolutely killer. Did you see Apakuna did a face reveal stream? I'm pretty sure he has had his face revealed. He just doesn't stream with face cam, I thought. Okay, this looks very messy right now, I know, but trust me. Aging slay, you've got a new wrinkle, I know. There's this weird trend of shaming middle-aged women who don't have kids. Like, come on, they're so cool, be nice to them. Yes. Like, just like, I don't know, I'm here to hype up everyone. I tell my friends all the time, I'm like, if you want to have kids, I support you. If you don't, I support you. If you want to move across the country and become, I don't know, I just try to be supportive of my friends. Okay, this is looking actually decent so far. I love painting so much, even if I don't always know what I'm doing, because I take so long between painting sometimes that I feel like I get lost on like, I'm like, wait, how do I do this again? But this is one of those times where I'm just like kind of letting it be a little bit messy. That's one thing, is I used to be like hyper-realistic painter. Not like hyper-realistic, but I used to feel like if it wasn't realistic, it wasn't good, which that definitely is not how painting works. Sometimes it's about like how you make your strokes and stuff, and like it doesn't need to be like a realistic stroke, but like more like the interpretation of one, you know? I have several gray hairs and many children. They are my friend. I love that. I actually genuinely love that. I don't think it's gonna be a while before I gray, I think. Which is kind of sad. I would love to have, like, white hair. Like, can you imagine? Okay, think about it, though. If your hair grays / turns white really early, like, you don't have to bleach it. You could just dye it any color you want. I'm excited for my hair to turn, like, white or whatever. Although, unfortunately, I have my dad's hair, which the dude only has gray. He's, like, 50-something, I think. And he only has gray in his beard. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, like, you know, slay. But, like, second of all, I'm like, oh, man, well, there goes my future chances of having, you know, white hair anytime soon. Okay. I love doing this without a reference because I'm really just going for it and having absolutely no idea. I love seeing older people with fun hair colors. I'm in the same boat. I think I've mentioned this before, but when I used to, I guess it was like, this is like technically a second job I've had, but I used to help like craft fair set up. So like, you know, like craft fair comes into town and like the old women pull up in their vans with their tubs and their folding tables, and like you just like help them bring it in. Yeah. So I used to do that, and all of like the craft fair women would always have like these like crazy colors. You know, I got like some orange and some like reds, and I was like, yes. And I remember I had purple hair at the time, so I was like, they were all complimenting me, and I was like, oh, me? Me? I'm sorry, my hand is going to be in the way here. I'll try to hold my paintbrush all interestingly and pretend that I'm cool and can hold it like that normally, but that's not really the case. I do see that I need to get some little darker area right around here. And this is mostly when you're adding in like these really heavy pieces of paint, it's called blocking. Because you can get it, if that's just like areas where I can very obviously see the canvas, so I'm just doing that to really block that out right there. Yeah. How do you spell? I have no idea. Don't even ask me. I don't even know. Pencil? Is that what you're asking? Pentacle? Is what playlist is this? This is one of Charlie's playlists. Charles. Which I think this is one of their public ones. Sorry, I don't mean to flip you guys off while I'm blending this, but it's the way of life. Oh, I just hit the camera, my bad. Alright, now we're gonna start going back in and adding some space where these apple tree leaves are going to go. And I do need to work on this basket right here, because it's supposed to be like a basket full of apples, and there's like nothing in there at the moment. Also, I feel like in the reference it wasn't so dark right here, but I'm kind of just giving into it. I love the vibes, thank you. This is really relaxing for all the stress I have. Thanks, Sniff. Dude, that's the whole point of this stream. Because, you know, we're like, the whole point is like, it's sponsored by Truth, and like, the whole point is that, like, we're here to talk about ways to de-stress ourselves without resorting to nicotine or vape products. And so this is how I do this. I have cramps, so I really need the stream. Hey, dude, me too. I am unfortunately one of the, I think it's like every 1/3 of a uterus haver has some sort of uterine related problem. And I am in that category. So I feel you, King. But that's why we chill. That's why I was like, no video games today. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes, like, I find that playing competitive video games can actually make me really stressed. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I gotta take a break from this. So like, for example, League of Legends. See, okay, well, that's where I'm wrong. I should not be playing League of Legends in general, to be honest. I'm guilty of that, I will say. Oh, God. I just... It's fine. It's just... Guys, I'm joining the Blue Man group. Let me get up and grab that. My foot's asleep, chat. I know that's an update that you probably didn't need, but I don't know, it just felt important. Just wipe that off the floor. Ugh. There we go. Whew, I've done that before. My hand sometimes spazzes randomly. Does anyone else have that issue? I don't know what's up with it. I'd like it to stop. It'd be very helpful if it stopped, but it doesn't for some reason. Even though I ask very kindly. Alright, so this is supposed to be very light to contrast this more dark side. So I feel like I am gonna kind of start coming in here a little bit and adding some... I want it to be a little bit desaturated though. So to desaturate colors with paint, you kind of just add in the opposite color. So in this case, we're gonna add in like a sort of orangey red. We're gonna use that to saturate some of this like foreground, and then this will make this part really pop, you know? I don't know if you know what Duke of Edinburgh is, but I have my bronze expedition this week. I have to walk 10K in one day and 10K the next. I have chronic fatigue though. Oh my gosh. I've never heard of that before. Obviously I've heard of Edinburgh before, but I have never heard of that. Like the, well, not chronic fatigue, but like the whole like, I don't know, is it like a competition or something, I assume? All right. Gonna add in a little bit more red, keep desaturating this. And again, I don't mean to flip you guys off while I'm blending. It just happens. Sniff, do you have any tips on starting painting? No pressure. I do actually. I do have a few really good tips. So my main tip for painting is start with landscapes. That's just where I started, was with landscapes, and you know there's a lot of tutorials on there for landscapes, and so landscapes are really good to start because like you can practice your brush strokes and you can practice blending, but you can also like it's easiest to get a reference for, and then you can slowly start painting people is what I recommend. And don't be afraid to do studies. You know, not everything you need to do needs to be a ridiculously large painting. Also know that it's okay to grid. It's okay to grid a painting. It's okay to, you know, project onto a canvas and, you know, do that. Everyone thinks you can like draw directly onto the canvas, but that doesn't... If anything, I feel like that is just making everything needlessly difficult. What I like to do is I like to draw on my iPad and then either grid or project it. I don't have an access to a projector at the moment, so. But like I said, I would start with landscapes because landscapes are the easiest. And as you can tell, even when you do start doing figures, you already have all of this background knowledge on how to do, you know, backgrounds. So, yeah. That was very helpful, thank you. Yeah, no problem. And I'm trying to think about I would start with acrylic paint, to be honest. It's harder to blend, but what that does is it kind of makes it so that when you do transition to oil, if you decide to, you already have all this great blending knowledge. And what else? I'm trying to think. You know, also find yourself a YouTuber who you like to watch. My personal favorite YouTuber is, for painting, that I like to watch paint was, her name is Loibra Bruckner. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I believe it's German. It might be Polish. I don't know. But anyway, she does paintings and she mostly does oil and like watercolor, but she does like voiceovers and some of her older videos. I haven't watched her in a very long time. But yeah, I enjoyed watching her videos. They were good from what I remember. Okay, we're gonna get a little bit darker right here because there is supposed to be a little bit of a... You're my fave, Sniff. Aw, thank you. I'm also my fave. But you should probably be your own fave, because that's like, I don't know, it just sounds correct. Okay. So we have something going on here. That's certainly the word for it. I actually like this kind of like red orange, because I'm kind of trying to give it more of like a sunny dead grass vibe. Yeah, because that's the way to do this. All right, and now I would like to transition to some smaller, finer detailed stuff. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit this time. That might be too much of a zoom in, so we'll figure that out. But I want to focus on this little sleeve right here. Oh, I zoomed out. Oh my god, Sniff. Did I zoom in this time or did I not? I have no idea, chat, what I just did. I think I'm supposed to do that. Is that the... Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes, you said it, whoever. I'm new here, how are you? And thank you though, Ruby. You did, that is exactly how you say her name. Or exactly how you spell it. Okay, I'm using a very small little paintbrush now. Just a wee little guy. And we're just gonna, oh, I forgot that that's wet. Hand time. Hello, Snifferish. Hi. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Thank you. I think when I started this, it was apple season. I don't honestly know. I think the whole thing is I was trying to get myself to do some smaller paintings because I tend to do very large paintings, which is good. Large paintings are fun, I will not lie. But it's also really easy to get burnt out on them because they can take so long. I have a large painting somewhere behind me that I have yet to finish that I really should. Okay, so we're just going to start by adding in those darker colors. And I'm going to mix in some white. I'm just going to see that's a little bit too bright. Okay, so we're going to go back. One thing that is a little bit sad about the smaller palette is that you don't have as much space to like blend. Which is kind of annoying, but also it, you know, it keeps me humbled. When did you start this painting? It is, I want to say I started it last September, based off of the theme. I have quite a few paintings that I like start and then kind of just forget about. Completely accidental, of course. I'm gonna use my finger to dab away some of that paint. Little hand. So how do you handle anxiety and mental health? I've been wanting to try journaling, but I don't know where to start. I've tried journaling before. I tried bullet journaling. And I will say, I actually enjoyed it a lot, but then the pandemic happened and, you know, I got thrown off my schedule. And once I get thrown off of a schedule, it's very hard for me to adjust back onto things, unfortunately. Sorry, I'm just adjusting some lines here. I'm gonna make the hand a little bit smaller. I want this thumb to be adjusted. Yeah, it's a little bit big, so don't mind me. I'm just shrinking this thumb. Oh, I was talking about mental health and then I got distracted. See, exactly. Once I get thrown off my schedule, perfect example right there, friends. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the main thing, I do paint. That does help, I'll be honest. But I feel like some other things that I do to really help would be like, well, I make sure I have time off. I have this really bad habit. I will say I think I am slightly a workaholic, unfortunately. And I know you guys are like, Sniff, what? Because you never stream. Well, yeah, but I also have, I don't know, once I get started working on a YouTube video, I like can't stop. I also write about 3,000 words a day, so that also kind of adds to it a little bit. But also, I think with anxiety, the big thing that helped me, I'll be honest, I take meds for my anxiety, and those do help me. But also, I completely understand that meds are not for everyone. So, I don't know. I feel like it's all about finding those activities that are really just for you and, like, not anyone else. Whether you're, like, playing The Sims and jamming to My Chemical Romance, or, I don't know, what do people do nowadays? Okay, this hand is looking a little bit better now. It's hard because it's so tiny. Such a little tiny little hand. Oh my god. And I do need to move this this basket handle up so that it can actually fit where it should be starting. Because it should be right around here instead. This is the fun part about painting, is when you make a mistake, you literally just paint over it. There's no eraser, but there's other paint, you know? Okay. We're going somewhere. I crochet when I get anxious. I like to crochet too, as you can tell by my hat. I'm currently working on crocheting a sweater for myself. So I get really warm. I have body temperature regulation issues. So like I'm either really warm or I'm really cold. And so I really like to wear sweaters. However, in the summer, you know, it's obviously a little bit hard to wear sweaters. So I'm making myself like some sweaters that are like mesh. Like they like, it sounds weird when I say it, but like, you know, sweaters that just like it's got more holes in it for breathability. What are you painting? I am painting a little guy going apple picking. Here, I'll zoom out a little bit. Get arthritis gloves, Sniff? Oh. I really should. I do have arthritis, fun fact. If it wasn't obvious by the fact that I'm a painter, drawer, artist, and crocheter, please, they are a lifesaver. I'm not doubting you in the slightest. In fact, I'm agreeing. I really should get... I really should get some arthritis gloves. Okay, let me make this a little bit more neutral toned. Because right now it's very blue. I think I should really try and find that reference photo. Here, let me go grab my iPad and see if I can find it. I'll be right back, chit. mind me. It's one second. Chat, am I good? Am I good? What happened? What happened? I was so anxious. I'm so sorry. Look. He screamed. I'm sorry. Look, look. Cheap mic moment. My normal. I'm sorry for laughing. I'm sorry for laughing. I'm sorry for laughing. That's so mean that I'm laughing. All good now. Cool. Great. I'm just not gonna touch the mic, guys. How about that? Suddenly your voice went very static and loud. I'm sorry for laughing. Oh god. Well, I'm glad we're all okay and we survived. I'm shaking so bad. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, chat. Look, technical difficulty that I couldn't control, believe me, I would not subject that to you. Yeah. Oh my god. Well, maybe don't, but I thought it was you. I'm laughing through the pain. I'm so sorry. Okay, anyways, we go back to painting. Now that I have my reference photo. I pick myself up and get back indoors. This is gonna. I heard the mic get muted and I thought this is gonna end well. Yeah, well. What if I just cried? How about that, chat? Yeah. It's okay. We survived. Chat, I think that look, hear me out. Hear me out. I think that we just survived something very stressful together, you know? I would even consider, I would even consider this to be a moment for all of us, you know, where we're just a little bit more connected by the fact that, I don't know. I'm trying to make light of the situation, you know? I really am. Trauma bonding. Well, oh gosh. Twitch surely is a platform. Because I didn't hear that. That's, you know. Okay. And then I'm just gonna... Sleeves are very difficult. Folded fabric in general is very difficult to paint. And it does not help that I'm painting it at such a small scale. So we're just gonna have to kind of believe. We're becoming believers. Get some water in there. Just so I can really thin it out. Okay, we're really sleeving right now, chat. We really, really are sleeving. I'm gonna tell my therapist about this stream. Yeah, about how you were absolutely serenaded by... You were lulled into a state of comfort and then... Oh, still so sorry, chat. Doesn't this look so much nicer, though? I do need to tone down the blue a little bit. I'm going to add in a little bit of orange. See if I can get rid of that super blue. It's really pretty, thank you. I'm getting ready for USFL playoffs since they start next week. Can I ask what that is? What is USFL? Can I guess? Ultimate Super Frisbee League. That's my guess. I'm probably wrong. I feel like it's gonna be Ultimate something Frisbee though. Watch it just not even be close. Like, I was thinking United States, Florida, but you know, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, maybe it's like the ultimate Florida, I don't know. In that case, I feel like I'm going to be apologizing that that person's in Florida, but... Try to make a very sort of neutral color here. Did you get a haircut? You look different, not in a bad way. I did get a haircut, and I will be honest, I appreciate you guys being kind about it, because I don't really like it. It's hard to tell, but the person who normally cuts my hair was unavailable, and I was like, okay. And she was like unavailable. Like, I wouldn't be able to see her until August, and my hair was getting really hot on my shoulders, and I just wanted a little trim. So I went to someone that she recommended, and it was like fine at first, but then two things mostly happened that I didn't really like. And that was that she cut my hair a lot shorter than I asked. And then she also used these thinning shears on them. And I tweeted about it. It kind of started this huge debate by accident about whether or not that's okay to use them without asking. My personal opinion is that if you're going to do something that dramatically changes someone's hair texture, you should ask. But yeah, I got my hair cut and she thinned it, and I didn't really like the thinning because you guys know me. I like having fluffy hair. I have very fluffy hair. And you can't really see much of it because it's like in the hat, but it is a lot. It's not as shapely as it normally is, and it's shorter than I would have liked. So yeah, I was a little bit upset. I'm mostly over it now, and I'm just kind of vibing, but it's not my favorite haircut I've ever got. Okay, how does this sleeve look, chat? Does this look very sleevey? Very doing its thing? If I could make it a little bit smoother, I would like to do that, but for now I'm just going with the motion. So what's this painting about? I don't know, it's not... I totally... Okay, I don't know how to say this. Because I totally understand, like, oh yes, it's gotta have some big meaning or something like that. Honestly, this painting is just a painting of a person apple picking. It's kind of got, like, a little witchy vibe to it. Here, let me just do that, I think is the thing that zooms it out. So you can see the full thing. It's got, like, a little witchy vibe to it, which I like. Like, it's like a little witchy mushroom hat. I don't know, I'm just like, I zoomed in, didn't I? I zoomed in, I did not zoom out. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I don't know. It's not like really anything like super special. It was more so I could just practice, you know? You zoomed in, Sniff, I see. Yes, the hat. You like my little hat? It's gonna be a little pointy little witch hat. But yeah, I used to think that like every single painting I needed to have some like very special artistic meaning, but now I just kind of do it. Here, I might be able to zoom in even more. If I go, is that the full zoom out? Yeah, there we go. Now you guys have the full zoom out. Wow, vibe check. Vibe check. You know what? I support. Me when I change the vibe significantly with... Yeah? I wish you had your talent that you could just create stuff like this. Well, I don't think it's talent. I'll be real. I'm a big believer in the, like, you can learn anything at any age vibe. And if it makes you feel any better, I only started learning how to paint when I was, like, 15. I'm not, like, some childhood painting protege. So also, what do you guys think about the stream setup? Only asking because I would like to do more painting streams in the future. Aside from the you know, microphone glitching out. Like, do we like that we can see my face when on the painting? And yeah. I have to make sure I can, like, I'm doing all this correctly. I'm trying to make sure I'm being a good streamer, guys. A good streamer. Stream setup is good? Good. So what I'm hearing, chat, is that when Cutie does the streamer awards again, you're gonna vote for me for the art streamer, right? Yeah. Oh, I just grabbed a bunch of green. Good thing I didn't put that down. Ah. Absolutely, yes. I was gonna almost push for it last year because I did quite a bit of art streaming last year, but then I was like, I saw this thing where it was like, oh, you can only do it if you have this many hours, But then I saw people who definitely had, like, less hours in their respective category who were still, like, in the categories. I was like, oh. Okay, so I guess that just, like, didn't really apply. And I was like, okay. Look at the little sleeve. Clothing folds are such a pain to do digitally. Trust me, they're a pain to do in person, too. Overstaying my satisfaction. Will you be selling it? Ooh, that is a good question. So, I have a super secret. I'm trying to open up my Face ID. Face ID your mom. Sorry. Don't mind me. I have like a little reference here that I'm trying to examine. I think I need to move this arm a little bit. I'm thinking about selling some of my originals. Okay, here's the thing though, and this is like where I feel kind of bad. They probably would be pretty expensive. And that's just because I don't paint a lot, and I do put a lot of time into my paintings. And then also on top of that, I don't know, I have a really hard time emotionally, even if the piece isn't like, you know, like the most groundbreaking thing, I have a very, very hard time emotionally detaching from paintings. Like, did you do it digitally as well? No, this is like a photoshopped, like 6 different photoshopped references into one thing. But yeah, I have a really hard time, like, I'm like, that's my baby, like, I'm like, I don't wanna, that's like kind of how I view it, and it makes it very hard for me to detach myself from paintings. I remember when I went to, like, gosh, when I went to Technoblade's family to give them the painting that I did for them, that was like one of the hardest trips / painting moments I've ever kind of had in my life. Because, like, obviously it was already kind of a wow, that is a moment, you know, very emotional moment for me. But also because, like, when I'm giving people paintings or like selling them or whatever, it very much so is like, I feel like I'm selling the experience of making it. Because here's the thing is, paintings are very, I want to say meditative for me, I guess, is the good, like, the way that I would put it. Even meditation is, like, slightly vague in its meaning and across different cultures. But, like, for me, that's kind of the best way that I can compare it. So it's like, I feel like I'm like, I don't know, it's so hard to explain. Would you ever sell prints? Yes, I would. I would do prints. Because prints are obviously a lot different than originals. And I will say, and this is something that you guys have super secret information on now. Probably not. I am starting a Patreon soon. I'm just barely finishing getting it all set up. And there will be loads of stuff in there that's both related to my Minecraft content and my art content and just me in general, because as you guys know, I do a lot. I do a lot of like, maybe auction some off with some of the proceeds going to charity. I would be willing to do that. Although I do still need to make some money. I'll be honest, chat. I am not a streamer millionaire. I probably should, I don't know how to explain this. This is gonna sound weird, but I probably should try to be a little bit more greedy sometimes. Because then there's moments where, like, something's happening, I'm like, man, I kind of need some months, and then I'm like, oh, like, Oh well. I don't know. I hate asking people for money because it makes me very anxious. And I already feel like people watching is like everything I've ever wanted, and it's like already my dreams. So like, I don't know, it's complicated. It's hard. I know it's like, why would that be hard? I don't know. Trust me, I'm silly. I'm silly in a way that I probably shouldn't be. Okay, 1 second. Gotta look at this hand again. So this hand is actually I'm gonna change the palm. Is it doing it? Is it? I don't see people freaking out yet. I don't see people freaking out yet. Okay. So chat, note to self, I'll have a new mic for this room by the next time I stream. Because that's actually crazy. If it happens again, I'm so sorry. I jumped so hard when that happened. Much better that hurt my ears. I'm very sorry. Look, chat. If there's anything I can do... If there's anything I can do to make you guys feel better, let me know. Scuffed streamers, stop! I am, but you don't have to rub it in. Look. I'm not naming the company, but I know which company made this mic. And just know I'm side-eyeing you. I like a cookie jar? Oh, I could make you guys a cookie jar, probably. Why is this playing? I am hyped for the Patreon, though. Thanks. Thanks, guys. What will be nice is I'll be able to record some painting sessions on Patreon, I think, and upload them, and just, like... You can do some of that, too. Set in the mood, Sniff, thank you. Put a cat in the painting to make us feel better. I could do like a, I don't know how I would do that. I might have little cat eyes in the, yeah. When it happens next time, you should put a FNAF character on the stream. That was unironically funny. Wow. It's my first time here and I think my headphones were, I thought my headphones were dead. I'm so sorry. Hey, to all the people who are here for the first time and are just really confused, I promise you, it's not normally like this. Please hang around, I beg. Okay, how's this looking? I think this is looking pretty good. I'm liking this sleeve transformation. It wasn't a perfect it wasn't a perfect first impression. I'm sorry. Ah! What if I just cried? I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Look. I just want to be. I haven't stopped by in a while, but I love art streams. So hi. Oh my god. It's bold. Blods. I never know how to say your name. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to expand the capelet out a little bit. Oh, yeah. No, I said it was perfect. Oh, sorry. I'm like a little dyslexic. But like, actually, I think, I don't know. I can't tell if it's that or it's like an ADHD thing, but I just can't, like my words get scrambled. But I appreciate it. It's okay, me too. Oh my god, we're like little twins. I do think that I am going to repaint this capelet a little bit. I want it to be a very vibrant red, so I think I am gonna kind of go over some of these flowers, but don't worry, I will go back and I will be re-adding them and all that jazz. I just really want it to be super vibrant so that this character stands out with the red back, or with the green background. By the way, blods rhymes with odd. Blods! Oh my god, your art style is so tasty. I want to eat your art, by the way. Thank you. I have an urge to eat, like, crystals. That's my thing, so I can't judge you for wanting to eat art. Okay, yeah, I like this. I like that we're making it a little bit more vibrant. Even if that does mean I have to repaint some of these flowers. Okay, so I'm just kind of adding in a little hood area right here. This is one of those things where it's just like, hi Sophie, I've been here so long, it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you too. I didn't know you painted, it looks so good. Also, hi. Oh my god. So many people who like art here sometimes and then are. But yeah, I do paint, surprise. And I also struggle to see color apparently because I cannot see this right now. I'm gonna like lean in a little bit, so just give me a second. So yeah, the whole point, also if the microphone goes bad again, I'm so sorry. Also hi Budgie. But yeah, we painted, we hanging. I think I want this to be a little bit more vibrant right here. Oh yeah. Like I said, I'll repaint the flowers, don't worry. I'm just trying to add in a little bit more detail and kind of reshape this hood a little bit. I actually got a capelet pretty similar to this the other day, and I'm so excited to wear it. Of course, right now it's a little bit too warm for me to wear it. It's also a little bit longer, it goes to like about here. Yo, Smidge, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, raiders. We're painting, we're hanging. We are recovering after my microphone glitched so badly that I gave everyone a ear issue, apparently. Look, it's a whole thing. But thank you so much for joining us today. I am just painting a little guy, picking apples. Chat, what's your favorite fruit? You know, it's funny because mine is apples. I think apples are my favorite fruit. But then my partner is allergic to apples, so I don't normally have them in the house. Apples, but green apples specifically. I also really like green apples. I think that, like, if you're gonna pair apples and peanut butter together, you gotta do green apples and peanut butter. I can't do many fruits or veggies because I'm allergic, even though my parents don't think I am. That's okay. I mean, sometimes it's like some stuff just gives you a tummy ache. I get a tummy ache from potatoes. But then when I went to go test to see if I was allergic to them, I didn't. So it was like really weird. But they still undeniably give me a tummy ache, so I don't know what to say. Okay, we are re-adding some vibrance to this witch hat real quick. Do you have any painting tips? I don't really know. I feel like painting is so individual, and that's kind of the fun of it. Like, go crazy, go stupid. But, like, I don't know, it's really just, like, I feel like especially with, like, traditional art, like, okay, this also applies to digital art, but I do think that, this really does affect traditional art. But that's, like, everyone holds their, like, paintbrush / pencil different, and everyone has different hand sizes, and everyone has different motor skills, and that alone creates different art styles naturally between people. And I don't know, I think that's just something that's, like, has got to be celebrated. So I think, like, my biggest painting tip is, like, stop caring what other people find aesthetic, and focus on themes that make you happy, and, like, things that make you happy. And then practice your brush strokes, practice this, obviously imitate others for practice, but when it comes to, like, your own stuff, like, don't be afraid to just do what you feel is most natural, and I feel like that's how you kind of develop a very unique art style. Hi Sniff, I have to go, but I hope the painting goes well. Thank you. Yeah, practice and patience is everything. I feel like, I will say, as somebody who does both traditional and digital art, traditional art can be, I feel like nowadays, traditional art is the one that's more daunting. And it is unfortunate, I will say, I think we're reaching a point where traditional art is becoming less accessible, in comparison to digital art, because, like, I don't know, I think it really depends on where you are and, like, all that jazz. But I mean, like, for example, mostly everyone has a phone, and I've seen people do amazing art on their phones. And then some people don't have a phone, that's also understandable. I'm also more so talking, I will say, I'm very much so talking from my experience here. Obviously, if you live in a different country or have a different culture, like, it's going to be completely different. I feel like I mainly paint references from games. I love that! Yes. Paying for resources as a traditional artist is a pain. Exactly. Oh my gosh. And I will say, I do think that's, like, and again, there's nothing against, I want to make sure that I as I'm here and I'm talking about traditional art, that I'm not trying to say that digital art in any way is less superior. I'm just making sure that it's really clear, because I will say a lot of like conversations around traditional art kind of comes from this like weird elitism. I don't care about that. But yeah, paying for your own supplies is really awkward. And I will say, like, when I like talk about like physical art commissions and stuff like that, I think people get a little bit astonished by the price, and I have to remind them that that is a factor of like physical supplies. And then like when I do, you know, eventually ship a painting to them, it takes a lot of effort to make sure that that painting is going to get to you safely. So like I feel like a really good example of this, and I'll talk more about the techno painting, because they did not buy that. I did everything for free to get it there for them, obviously, because it was a gift. But I don't know if you guys remember, but I constructed a frame for it and a wooden box to take it across the country, because I wanted it to be as safe as possible going through TSA and, you know, the whole airport system. So the frame, I believe, cost about $120 to make the base for, and then I spent an additional $100 to gold leaf it, and then that was probably like, God, like 10 hours of time. Also, I did wood burn it. That was another thing. So then the box that it was transported in, I think, was about $200 worth of wood and like other things. And then it took me about 5 hours to build the box. So that's just an example of like resources that are around a painting, but don't necessarily go into the painting itself. It's more so the traditional aspect of the fact that you have to ship it. Yeah. What type of paints do you use? Right now, I am using acrylic heavy body paint. One second. I need to open up my thing so that I can look at my little reference. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm like, I can't even enter my own password apparently. Hello? Don't mind me, guys. Just failing to human. Okay, it does have some light bounce right here, so I'm gonna mix that in a little bit. Okay. This looks so cool, thank you. Don't mind me just using my finger to blend. My most valuable tool. You're insanely good at lighting, the life we could never. Oh, I don't really think that much so. I feel like my main tool for lighting is to just kind of, when I look at my reference, I kind of just disassociate. I will say, doing black and white studies can be very helpful to practice your lighting, because lighting also really just comes down to how good you can mix values. So like, yeah. Have you read Song of Achilles? I have been wanting to. Okay, here's the thing is, I very recently got back into reading. And so I feel like I'm just barely catching up on like all of these popular books that have been kind of going around TikTok and like the internet for the past couple of years. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I will say though, I have read some popular, quote, popular books and have absolutely hated them. Gosh. Like, I was very excited because I came back to reading and I noticed that the fantasy genre has really grown in popularity. And then I went and read some books and I was like, oh, wow, this sure is something right now. Which, like, also no shame to people who kind of read those kinds of books. It just was not really for me. And I was also, I'm like a very high fantasy person, so there was like a lot of them were just like, you know, the girls who know what I'm talking about know exactly what I'm talking about, you know? I just wasn't prepared for that mentally. I was like, where's the plot? And instead there was... yeah. Also, okay, I will say this. And this is like, this is not even just a fantasy thing, this is like a thing. I don't know why, but I can't read stories where all of the characters are just insanely attractive. And this is gonna sound kind of awful. But I think it's because, like, I don't think I'm insanely attractive. And, like, I'm like, okay, well, there's no way to, like, I can't relate to this. Like, I can't relate. Like, you know? I don't know. And it's just, like, unrealistic. Not every single person you meet is going to be attractive, but that also, like, doesn't matter. Hot take? Okay, I'm trying to shape this hat a little bit bigger, or bigger, better? I don't know. Both. And I think there's some areas I want to expand on. I'm gonna... Ooh, I'm liking how this is looking. How do you know color theory? I don't. Do I? I actually... Not another hand spasm. That happened once earlier. I'm surprised it's only happened twice. It happens so often, chat. I don't even know why. Probably the arthritis. Probably the arthritis catching up early to me. I think you're very pretty and vibey. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But even then, like, I understand that, like, to some people I'm attracted. I don't know. My whole point is, like, I just think that, like, stories where everyone's attractive, it just, like, I'm like, okay, boo. Like... Color theory is my favorite thing in art. See, I don't feel like I know enough about color theory. I feel like I probably have some, like, natural understanding of color theory, but if you asked me to explain it, I don't think I would know what I was talking about. I don't even know this song, but, like, I do vibe. This is what I get for listening to my partner's music. Oh. Guys, it's 5 o'clock. Did you know that? My alarm just said it's 5 o'clock, so you guys all have to know that it's 5 o'clock. Whew. It is very pretty. I'm liking it a lot. I do think that I am going to stop here because I'm very anxious that the microphone is going to glitch out again. And I know there's some people who weren't here for that, but just trust me when I say you don't want it to happen. But either way, I think that this is some good progress, and now that I have this set up, it'll be very easy for me to do in the future. So, I definitely think that, you know, more painting streams. That's what's gonna happen. Here's the progress for today. I feel like the colors really came together today a little bit, especially in this like front row. So yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm gonna go. I have to go in the other room to turn off my stream, but I greatly appreciate you. Please join the Discord if you can. As for when I'll next be live, I don't know. I don't know. At least next Saturday. Yep. All right. Goodbye, chat. That was very spooky. I don't know why I did that. I didn't need to do that, but I did. All right. Let me just do my little dance. My little sitting up dance. Okay. Bye, guys.